the finds that we are beginning to see in the Karamoja region, the Moroto Kadam basin, that came as very exciting for us because when we were exploring in the Albert and Graben, what gave us the leads were when you find crude oil seeping into the surface, from the subsurface to the surface. And the teams out of Entebbe and the Petroleum Directorate that are now undertaking thorough exploration in that region were able to find a very strong seepage of crude oil from the subsurface, and that has given us morale to carry on with exploration, because now it tells us that there is a working petroleum system. By a working petroleum system, I mean at least the prerequisites that are required for you to find oil, like source rock that has generated this oil, that there has been migration from where it was sourced, that there is a structure where it can accumulate, and that there is a reservoir, have all been now confirmed by the teams. What we need now is aggressive promotion of this area so that we can also license it to companies that will bring in the required capital to drill the wells, because those are pretty expensive. So that's what we are working on now as a sector, to ensure that we license Karamoja. Karamoja will not be part and parcel of this licensing round that I was talking about earlier that is coming up in Mombasa. The announcement that is coming up in Mombasa, because it requires a lot of pre-preparation before you announce a licensing round of a given area. So we think that there is still work to be done by the ministry before we get to license Karamoja. But that's on the cards. I think in the next 2 years we should be licensing Karamoja to investors that are interested. There is no better way to do something than be sure that you are well prepared. And this country set out to do exactly that. We've benchmarked with countries that have done it well and those that have made mistakes. For us to avoid those mistakes, we set out to ensure that the right instruments are in place. That includes the legislation, and we did that in 2013 and 2016 to ensure that the right institutions are in place. That's why we set up Petroleum Authority of Uganda and the national company. I may not go into the roles of those companies, institutions, but suffice to say that the Petroleum Authority is the regulator that ensures that the laws were put in place, the agreements were put in place, are being followed by the licensees to the latter. And the national company is responsible for investments within the sector on behalf of the people of Uganda, on behalf of government. So with those institutions in place, we think that the industry will benefit this country. And therefore, after those were done, then of course we went into planning for the development phase. We started by doing the studies that ensure that you've designed the right equipment to receive the crude oil when you produce it. Those we've been doing the front-end engineering design, as you may be aware. We've been doing environmental impact assessment and social impact assessment. The infrastructure that we develop requires a lot of land, and therefore we've been doing the resettlement action planning in preparation for acquisition of land. So basically, this country has been deliberate on ensuring that the processes are done right before we get into the production phase. And we think it will benefit us a lot. The countries that they have said, oh, this country found oil the other day and they're already producing, they have come to regret why they rushed, because the total take of government has not been as they had thought. So I think we are on the right track. And when we take FID, I believe later this year we'll be taking final investment decision. We should be able to get into the development phase where the actual benefit will start to be realized.